I am going to explain to you my video statistics, and I'm going to do this for the second time. In fact, I had to refresh my entire browser in order to get back onto YouTube. And even though I will tell you I'm the most censored channel on YouTube, I will tell you that I am friends with the most censored channel on YouTube, being Bo Knows Entertainment, who I happen to be friends with and have met in person in the Florida Keys. Be that as it may, I'm going to read to you some of the notes I made before and tell you what happens when I sign into YouTube. First of all, I have several other channels that I don't blog from or even make uploads to. And YouTube and or Google gives me the option to sign into any of those channels, but not my channel. So I have to post my name, email address, and my password into the browser in order to get on my own channel. You would at least think they would give me the name. They give me 7 other options for 7 other names of channels that I have, but they don't give me the option for the only channel I have signed into in over 3 years. That's one way that Google is censoring and aggravating me to the point where I'm just over it. Now, I'll discuss my video statistics first because I didn't get that involved with it before, right from the beginning. I have people commenting that I have a failed YouTube channel. And then I have other people commenting on comments like that my channel has no content and no worth when it comes to the Philippines vlogging community, but more, in addition to that, no worth whatsoever as a YouTube creator. Now, there's reasons for that, and that's because of, I would say, jealousy, number one. Number two, each person in the Philippines vlogging genre is trying to accrue views by whatever means necessary. And yet, they accuse me of Nazi tactics when nothing could be further from the truth. So let's go over my failed YouTube channel statistics before YouTube says that the connection is bad or that the internet was interrupted and I can't get back on as a live stream. So just off the top of my head, and then I'm going to go into what the name of my channel means. I have almost 9 million views, 8,881,000, blah, 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 plus views. I have earned through YouTube over $25,000 since April 12th of 2012. Over $25,000. And that income came from AdSense originally. Then later, shortly thereafter, I put up my book, aka Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio, and the link is on my homepage for that book. Income from the book, income from Patreon pledges, and now, of course, Super Chat, which is what everybody on YouTube is vying for, and they will do anything and say anything in order to garnish views and to remove a person's worth on YouTube as long as they can benefit from their negative lies, half-truths, and absolute insidious comments, such as that I am trying to control what's on someone else's channel. That's not necessarily true. What is true, I will tell you this, what is true is if I don't agree with someone, I will voice my opinion. And that's where the Philippines vlogging genre And the low IQ that the Philippines vlogging genre has, and I will repeat that, the low IQ. And the reason I say low IQ is because most of the Philippines vlogging genre is of really no worth in regards to what it's like living in the Philippines. Do they have any video content? For the most part, the answer is zero. Do they have anything worthwhile to add to what it's like living in the Philippines? Well, if they have no content, and when I say video content about the Philippines, I mean, have they interacted with the community? Are they a member of the community in any way, shape, or form? Do they have videos where they do walkarounds and talk with the people in the community and or what's going on in the community at fiestas, on construction sites, even at malls and shopping centers? Even though I think that these people that post a monthly cost of what it's like living in the Philippines, I think they're a total joke. Okay. And I say that because they talk about chump change of what it costs to live in the Philippines. Most of the people that do these cost of living in the Philippines are talking about chump change, in my opinion. And chump change is, I don't know. Where I grew up, chump change was talking about anything less than $1,000. Okay. Now, I understand that even in today's world, $1,000 means a big difference to me. But my mentality is that when people talk about it costing $1,000 a month to live in the Philippines, I can only hope and pray that one day those bills are a reality in my world. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't know of another vlogger in the Philippines that spends more money than I do in the Philippines. Now, they might give you a bunch of blah, blah, blah and say, well, you need $1,000 and you can't live on less than $1,000. That's a lie, straight up and down lie. If you live a frugal lifestyle, you can get an apartment for about $300, a decent apartment. Another $50 a month for your immigration fees. That's $350. Another $100 for electric, if you like aircon, $450. $200 for food for a single person. That's $650. And then you have expenses, another couple of $100. If you're living with a woman, probably you could live with a woman that doesn't require a lot of maintenance for about $1,000. But when they say that you can come to the Philippines and spend $1,000 a month, that's a person that's not doing a damn thing in the Philippines. They're just living in the Philippines. They have an apartment. They might go out for coffee a couple of times a week. Try being an entrepreneur in the Philippines for $1,000 a month, and then you'll understand my point of view. I'll give you one number that this year I spent 2 million pesos in the Philippines. And that included getting my goods from New York to the Philippines. But that's not the only expense I had. I had my living expenses, which probably come to about $1,000 a month for myself and Daisy May. However, when you want to go out on a vacation, and I took a couple of people, friends of mine, out for a day trip to go to an island. And in fact, they did me a favor, so I paid for their hotel. That little endeavor alone in the month of May cost about 10,000 pesos. Not so much, but it was a $10,000 peso tab for bringing two people out on a snorkeling trip / day trip on a boat, and then paying for their hotel, and then taking them out for dinner at 999 pesos per plate. So that was a 10,000 peso bill. I had another bill to bring Daisy May's mother here for 2 months, just under 2 months. That was about 35,000 pesos. So that's 45,000 pesos. And Daisy needed a new phone, so we're going to round that out to just 50,000 pesos for the month of May only. Okay, so you can't live in the Philippines for $1,000 a month. And now we're going to get to the meat of the matter. I am, in fact, building a hotel. I don't care what anybody says. One day, there's going to be a hotel on the property that I have an exclusive lease for 20 years. I have 17 and a half years left on that lease. Why isn't there a hotel on the property at this point? Well, for one, as most of you people that have followed me, I had an injury, an infection on my foot that put me out of commission for a year. Two, I didn't get the property until just under 3 years ago. And that, at which point in June of 2016, this is how complicated it is to live in the Philippines and what you can expect when you move to the Philippines. At that point, I went and hired, I looked around for architects to get the permits to build a hotel. It's a 3-story hotel, and the top floor is going to be an equipment room, but you can walk up there and look at the view from the 4th floor. But basically, it has to be an equipment room, unless I want to invest another minimum $25,000 for an elevator. And that might happen. But for right now, I applied for the 3-story hotel, which is going to be, probably I'm going to reduce it to 9 rooms from 12, make the rooms a little bigger. And I'm taking the top floor. So there's only really going to be 6 rooms for rent. So in September of 2016, to satisfy and answer some of the questions I get when it comes to when is your hotel going to be done? And then I got to hear a pile of cellulite say it's only a fantasy in my mind. A guy that can't walk to the store to buy me coffee is telling me I have a fantasy in my mind that I'm going to build a hotel. Well, right now, let's just talk about that pile of cellulite. Right now, I have well over 2 million pesos involved with the process of building the hotel. How did I accrue that much monies? Well, let me explain it to you in no uncertain terms. Number one, in September of 2016, I hired an architect for 13,000 pesos to get the plans. Totally incompetent, I might add. I gave him specific instructions on giant sheets of what we would call oak tag in America. I gave him every measurement for every room, every switch and every outlet layout, the size or the width of the hallways, the heights of the ceiling, and how high I wanted the hotel raised off existing ground level. That guy screwed up every single measurement. It was as if he was on some sort of drug, which it turns out he was. He is either stone cold stupid or an alcoholic or worse. So in September, I gave him a 10,000 peso, $200 deposit for a 13,000 peso set of plans. He said he'd have the plans done in 2 weeks. At that point in 2016, I went to New York to pack my goods in New York to come to the Philippines. Things I needed to progress further with my hotel construction. Tools that are not available in the Philippines, or tools that are of a low quality in the Philippines that I had several of in America. So it actually paid for me to go to America and ship my products back to the Philippines. I'll just give you one, for instance, in far as costs, what it cost me to live here so far. That trip cost me, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say $7,000 to $10,000. Plus, I was gone for 6 weeks. One expense was $1,700 for an airline ticket. I shipped back 33 boxes at about $100 a box, because a lot of the boxes were double boxes, so they were $100. So we're going to add $3,000 to the $1,700 for the ticket. So what does that come out to? $4,700. Now, in New York, I had a couple of $1,000s worth of expenses, so we're at $6,700. I had to pay rent here in the Philippines and my bills here in the Philippines, and in return, I had to also, in addition, I had to also buy building supplies for the hotel, which I spent an additional $2,000 to $3,000 on. So we're going from $6,700 to $9,700, or $10,000 US dollars. That has to be included in the cost of living in the Philippines. And then I shipped that stuff back to the Philippines, and I had to spend almost 6 weeks in America loading those boxes, plus preparing for the container that I just brought here at an expense of 180,000 pesos, $9,000, almost half a, 10,000 pesos is $500,000. I mean, $10,000 is $500,000 pesos, and I spent $19,000 total. So I spent 1,000,000 pesos to get this stuff back to the Philippines. And you can't buy the supplies that I brought back with me. So when I have to listen to a pile of cellulite that can't make a trip to the store to buy me coffee on foot, say that that I have a fantasy hotel and that my channel is not as good as his channel, I'm not going to allow that kind of nonsense. I don't have to, although I gave them the option to just chill and don't mention my name anymore, and ask them specifically in a very specific way, just let's not mention each other's name anymore. And now I see that didn't happen. And then I see these other insidious comments like, who is that guy, Michael Fazio, Fatsio? And the answer from the ladyboy lover in Manila is, oh, that's a failed YouTube channel. He's not worth mentioning. We don't talk about failed YouTube channels. We don't talk about anything negative on my channel. That's a quote, pretty much a quote. So let's talk about my failed channel. Let's digress back. I made $25,000 from my YouTube channel in 7 years. 9 million views, several dozen Patreon members. I wrote a book long before I moved to the Philippines. And as far as the Philippines aspect of my channel goes, I have about 1,500 videos solely directed at the Philippines and what it's like living here. More of a diversity than any other Philippines vlogger, for sure. Now, you got people like Kyle Jenneman, who gets millions of views, and he's got a good channel. I personally have only watched one of his videos. He's very good at what he does, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't want to eat bugs, and I don't want to learn how to catch land crabs with little traps. It's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in what I'm interested in and not what he's interested in. So now you have the ladyboy lover whose channel is based solely out of Manila. And there's nothing in Manila that interests me. I'm not interested in bars. In fact, I've been here in the Philippines for 6.5 years, and I've never been in a bar. Outside cheeky huts or thatched roof bars, yes, on occasion, but not to drink alcohol, only to socialize when I rented the room at those particular facilities. I've never been in a bar. I don't drink alcohol. The last time I had any alcohol was with a very famous man who lives here in the Philippines. He gave me a glass of sangria, I think it was. Before that was February, or actually January, where I had a few shots of tequila. So in 6 months, I consumed less than 20 ounces of alcohol. As far as vlogs are concerned, I don't do vlogs about gays. I don't do vlogs about lesbians. I don't do vlogs about transgenders. It's not what I'm interested in. So when I made a comment on the pile of Celluloid's channel, when I made a comment saying that you have this guy advertising for gay and transgender lifestyles, I think that's wrong. Why do you allow him to do that? He went off on some tangent in his recent video. Oh, you want to control my channel? No, I don't want to control your channel. I just don't appreciate going to a person's channel and seeing a comment by one man, and I use that word loosely, stating that he makes love to his boyfriend, Julian, and Julian loves the way he smells because he lathers himself up in lavender before they make love. It's not my cup of tea. Am I anti or am I homophobic? I don't portray it as such on YouTube. I have my opinion about those lifestyles, but I don't make videos per se about people who choose those lifestyles. What I did do, in fact, was I made a comment saying that I didn't like the idea that there was one comment after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, about how this one man makes love to his boyfriend, Julian. I happened to go to the channel to see if there was anything worthwhile to listen to, and I have to see these comments. So I made I made several comments about it, that I'm unsubscribing and I won't watch your channel anymore. And at that point, I don't even know how many people, 4, 5, 6, 7 people started saying, what's wrong with you, Fazio? Are you a homophobic, or you can't control somebody? I'm not trying to control this channel. I'm telling that man what I appreciate in a channel. And it's my opinion only. I didn't say you have to stop this. I didn't say I demand that you don't allow this stuff. And yet, because this pile of cellulite can't go out and earn a living on his own and has to depend on the charity of other people in the form of super chat, he will do anything for views, including allowing this so-called troll who had a name. If you take the first 6 letters of this so-called troll's name and put it into YouTube's search engine, it brings you directly to the Ladyboy's channel, Ladyboy Lover's channel. And that's okay if that's what he wants to do. But I personally will not have any of that type of stuff posted on my chat window or my channel. It's my prerogative. It's my channel. However, then it goes on to say that I was a Bible thumper in the first video that he made, or as I was making the comments. I'm not a Bible thumper. In fact, that I read the Bible. In fact, I wanted to prove the existence of God by using the Bible. The only conclusion I came to was that the Bible, aka the King James Version of the Bible, is satanic in nature at best, and that it has a lot of references to the pictographs on the dollar bill. It even shows you pictographs on the dollar bill that directly relate to the temple that the Masons refer to in their teachings. And the words in the Bible even describe the entrance to the temple and how you can see it, including the porch and the steps and the pillars. It's all on the dollar bill. You have to read my book in order to prove me wrong. But if you did read my book, aka Angels on the Ark, you can't prove me wrong. I'm right. I'm 100% right. And that brings me to the point of why my channel has low view counts. Because there were a lot of comments that I read recently that my channel is worthless, has no worth in regards to the Philippines genre, or no worth in regards to YouTube in general. And yet the statistics are 6,212 videos loaded, 2,400 public videos, another 700 plus videos on Patreon, and several hundred are private for my own personal enjoyment. $25,000 earned money on YouTube, and I had 19,000 subscribers. Very close, within a few, maybe I think it was 18,900 subscribers. However, because of my non-politically correct Obama comedy videos and my non-politically correct political videos in general, and the new administration of YouTube and Google going against anybody with conservative viewpoints, and they don't look at my videos and say, oh, that guy's a conservative. Let's diminish his view counts 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% every month. They don't do that. They may do that in addition, but what they do is they go and the computer looks at what videos you watch and what videos you spend the most time on. And then the computer, artificial intelligence, determines that this guy, Michael Fazio, is a conservative, and we're going to reduce his view counts by anywhere from 2 to 11% per month. So where I was 50 short of 19,000 subscribers, now I'm at 18,558, I think. So I've been reduced 385 subscribers in the last 10 months. They're taking subscribers away sometimes as many as 30 or 40 a month. And how are they doing that? Well, this artificial intelligence decided that I am a conservative. So what they did was they took the bell notifications off of all of my subscribers, as far as I can tell. And whenever they resubscribe within a week, the bell disappears again, the bell notifications. Can I do anything about that except talk about it? Nope, because that's YouTube's prerogative. Can I show you my statistics? I'm not real sure about that, so I won't show them to you. But I will tell you that in 2015, 2016, I was earning in the vicinity of $185 to $230 a month on AdSense. AdSense has gone down to $33.75 last month. A lot of that has to do with ad blockers. A lot of that has to do with YouTube Red, where you don't see advertisements. So instead of making $50 a month, when people become a YouTube Red member, I might make $3 a month off of their views. 20 times less, but something none the same. As far as ad blocker is concerned, everybody's getting ad blocker, so they don't have to watch commercials that they don't want to see in the beginning. So my AdSense went down to about 1/8 of what it was almost 4 years ago. Now, as far as my view counts and my low views on my videos, they don't have a damn thing to do with my video content. There is no YouTube creator anywhere in the world that has as much diversification when it comes to uploads. I have videos about scuba diving in America, scuba diving in the Philippines, shallow scuba diving in America, deep diving in America, deep diving in the Philippines, wreck diving in the Philippines, penetrations into wrecks in deep water in the Philippines, snorkeling in the Philippines, swimming in the Philippines, videos about Bacolod City, videos about Palawan, 5 or 6 different towns that I spent more than a week in each town. I have videos about Bohol. I have videos about Cebu. I have videos about Dumaguete. I have videos about tugboats. I have videos about barges and cranes I have owned. I have videos about construction companies I've owned. Videos about bobcats and me operating bobcats that I've owned and or rented. Videos about me making break walls. Videos about me making bulkheads. Videos about me doing decks and docks. Owning my own deck and dock company. Owning my own bulkhead building company. Owning my own seawall building company. And videos about swimming. White sand beaches, hotels, hotel costs, food costs, malls, and in general, the general population of how the Philippines community looks at expats, which is not very consoling, by the way, because most expats in the Philippines lead a worthless lifestyle. You'll see them at the donut shops in the morning. At 10 o'clock, they start arriving. And they have coffee and they smoke cigarettes outside Bo's Coffee. And they talk about their conquests from the night before. I don't do that. In fact, I have very few dating videos. I have lots of videos where I went dating in the beginning, but I really didn't feel it was necessary to post them. So that's part of my 6,000 plus repertoire videos. But I don't care. I didn't care to belittle the girls in the Philippines. What I wanted to portray was what it's like dating women in the Philippines, and I put up about 30 of those videos, and I felt it was enough. I could go on, but it's just repetition, and I don't really like repetition. You don't see me making 50 videos about Bacolod. 5 or 6 videos about Bacolod City covers every aspect of the city, as far as I needed to concern myself with. You don't see me making 1,000 videos of white sand beaches, although I enjoy white sand beaches, because how many videos of white sand beaches do you want to put up? I could put up lots more. I have a lot more that I haven't posted, but why should I? Okay, so I have the most eclectic, and that's a big word for most of you people, selection of videos on YouTube, bar none. And then you have my construction videos of what I have accomplished on the hotel, which are on Patreon. Some of them are not on Patreon. And you have my videos about what I think about the construction industry and the workers in the construction industry in the Philippines in regards to my qualifications as a licensed general contractor in America, a licensed excavation contractor, a licensed captain, a licensed airframe and power plant mechanic, and a single engine aircraft certification. Okay, so I have a good selection, and yet I have to hear some guy who makes several videos, not video after video, but several videos about me being Michael Fazio. Am I overweight? Yeah, I'm a little bit overweight, but I'm probably in better shape than pretty much 95% of the people my age in the Philippines. Maybe the world, for that matter. I've seen people my age, same age, 63, born within a month of myself, walking down the block with canes hunched over, and they can't get to the end of the block without taking 2 or 3 rests. Why? Because they abused themselves. I go out and walk 10 kilometers without breaking a sweat in the middle of the afternoon. I'm still overweight. I walk the kilometers to lose weight. I do, on and off. I put it on, I take it off. But I'm not out of shape. But I get videos made about me that I'm obese and out of shape, and I'm going to have a heart attack, and my heart's going to blow up, and I'm going to die from heat prostration. None of that stuff bothers me. The heat doesn't bother me one bit. It's hot. I got to tell you, it's hot. Most people would fall down, but that doesn't bother me. I worked outside in the heat, in the sun for the last 40 years. I'm used to it. But I am not And I am telling you again, I am not going to allow people to make insidious comments and slight remarks against me when they themselves have never proven themselves to be what I call worthy of criticizing me. Okay? And how do I come to that conclusion? And I might be the only one that agrees with me. I come to that conclusion by their video content, which happens to be zero. They don't have any videos about them needing a crane when they were 28 years old and going out and buying a crane. And then having a company to build decks and docks, or any construction company. When I needed a barge with a crane on it, I just went out and bought a crane barge. When I wanted an ocean racer, oh yeah, my ocean racer videos. I haven't had an ocean racer for 9 years. Okay, nice boat. I didn't make a lot of videos about the boat because I didn't want to make a lot of people jealous, but I did have $185,000 ocean racer that I only paid a little over $50,000 for, because the gas went from $1 something a gallon to $5 a gallon, and no one could afford gas anymore. It used to cost me $500 a day for gas to go out on the boat. Chump change, getting back to what is real money and what is not. When you're making money, $500 is chump change. And at that time, $500 a day was chump change. I had a brand new Cobra. Digressing back to these clowns on YouTube that say I'm a failed vlogger. I'm probably a more successful person in different areas of life and different aspects of life than most people could comprehend. Has anybody else in the Philippine genre showed you a picture of their 33-foot Formula SR311 with two naturally aspirated 454s, 365 horsepower per engine, 730 horsepower total, 63 miles an hour boat? Do any of the other Philippine genre members have a boat like that? It was actually called a yacht. You can look it up. It's a yacht. Does any of the other Philippine genre, did they ever own a brand new Cobra right from the factory? No, they have these little Ford Focus cars and little electric gas hybrids, and they have these little chump change cars. Let's call them chump change cars, okay? They don't have anything in their repertoire compared to what I did and had and experienced in life. Do any of the other Philippines genre community have any deep diving, wreck diving, penetration in 100+ foot of water videos? Any one of them? Please, somebody leave a comment and tell me who else did that. Like the Japanese warships that I dove in Palawan. Did any of the other Philippine genre that are making comments at me, against me, slighting me, do any of those other people have any of this stuff? An ocean racer, a new Cobra, $1.3 million house on the ocean, 90 seconds from the ocean on a deep canal in Key Largo, Florida. Do any of them have that in their repertoire? No. And yet I have a guy that's in Manila calling me Michael Fazio, making videos that my boyfriend is up on stage stripping. And who is this person that's up on stage taking their clothes off? It's part of a show, and the show revolves around gays, transgenders, lesbians, and burlesque. So he refers to the man up on stage as my future boyfriend. Was I at the show watching the show? Was I there? No, I was in Bohol with Daisy May. But he was front and center watching the show. And yet he makes these insidious comments that that's my next boyfriend, or there is Michael Fazio's boyfriend, I forget. And then people read those comments and they don't correct him. That's why I have created the stir in the Philippines vlogging genre that I did in the last week. I'm not going to let people with zero content on their channel. And when I say zero content, I mean squat, zero, zip, nada. There's one particular entity that doesn't show his face, doesn't have any content of the Philippines, no walkabouts, no videos of the local barangays or places in the Philippines, no interaction between people in the malls or parks, no interaction between his extended family, no interaction between the people on his block. And yet, for some strange reason, people believe this fella is an expert on the Philippines vlogging community. Where did they come up with this stuff? It reminds me of sheer ignorance. So then we have another fella who is continuing his allowance of negative comments about me on his channel. Even after I asked them to stop. I said, if you guys stopped 2 weeks ago, we'll just let this whole thing drop. But they love drama. So if they love drama so much, let's give them some drama. So let's just talk about the fella who hasn't been in the Philippines for 7 or 8 years, who constantly calls his wife, although he's not with her for 8 years or 7 years, whatever. I don't know. How is he an expert on the Philippines community? And yet all the people from the Philippines community go to his channel. And then they read these insidious comments insinuating, was he insinuated that I am trying to control his channel. And then we have this insidious virus saying we're not Nazis. We don't try to control other people. When in fact, that guy has done more to incite hatred on the YouTube genre in general than any other single person on the YouTube genre. I'm talking about in any sense. And yet he says, we're not Nazis. We're here to have fun. This is entertainment. And yeah, it is entertainment. But it's not entertainment for me when I hear my name calling me a Bible thumper. It's not entertainment for me when I read comments saying that I'm a failed YouTube vlogger, or it's not entertainment for me when I read comments saying that I'm a homophobe and that I've broken terms of service on YouTube. It's not entertaining for me. And yet this pile of cellulite allows these comments to stay on his channel without removing them. And the other guy, the one who incites more hatred towards people in general and has over the last 4 or 5 years, he acts as if he's some sort of savior. Well, it's those slight remarks, the sleight of hand remarks, the left-handed compliments that got you into my mind for a period of time. And I guess this too shall pass. But don't come on my channel and say, Fazio, what's up? Why are you doing this? I'm ad-libbing, of course. Why am I doing it? Because you are inciting hatred towards myself and my channel, with you allowing people to go on your uploads and saying negative things about me. So it's not fair for me to do the same towards the people that come on your channel or your 2 channels. It's not fair for me to do that because you do it in such a way that it really can't be traced back to you per se. And why can't it be traced back to you? Because when you make comments in the chat window to incite this insidious behavior, then you remove the comments later on. So I can't even prove that you said the things I'm telling people that you said you did. But don't come to my channel and ask me why, because this is why. You did what I said you did in this commentary. You allow people to say insidious things, negative connotations, and say that in general, I have no self-worth of my channel. My channel is worthless. You allow this to go on, and you think it's okay without some sort of rebuttal, so to speak. I'm not going to allow that. I'm not some schlep that just got off the banana boat. I'm not that guy. I'm not like you, and I'm not like the other pile of cellulite. I'm a guy that when I needed a crane, I went out and bought a crane. I'm not talking about a little crane either. I'm talking about a 38-ton crane. When I needed a crane barge, I went out and bought a 188-ton crane barge. When I needed a pile driver, I just went out and bought a pile driver. I didn't work for the military-industrial complex. I didn't work for a mining company where everything was at my beck and call. If I needed first aid, I just went to the doctor or to the infirmary. I didn't do any of that stuff. I went out and risked my life and limb out on the ocean, repairing equipment at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, welding on the top of a boom or stick, what we call a stick, or inside a cavity of the hull. And I went out and did that so that I could start the motors at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to work and get the men. I'm not like you guys at all. I have nothing in common with any of you people, except people that are self-made, like myself. In fact, I was a self-made millionaire. I bought my first property in the Florida Keys, and I ended up owning 3 properties. I had a total value net worth of about $2.8 million before the crash in 2009, 2010. So in fact, I was a millionaire, self-made. Nobody gave me the money to buy the house. Nobody gave me anything. I went out and earned it. Unlike you people who just went out and got yourself a steady job with benefits, I'm not like you. And I'm not going to allow some clown to call me Michael Fazio and allow people to make comments on his channel that I am dead, okay, and that Daisy May killed me. You think that I'm going to forget about that? He said, let's let bygones be. Never going to happen. Bygones ain't never going to be bygones. Best thing for you to do is just drop it, but you can't, because you like drama too. See, this is what the Philippine genre community is about, drama. Just so turns out that although I don't enjoy it as much as you might think, I'm good at it. And I'm good at it because you people can't rebut anything I said. And the people that I'm talking about have absolutely nothing to offer you too, except for the ladyboy lover in Manila. He can tell you where to meet different men and women of different mindsets. That's his only benefit. And apparently YouTube loves that because they give him lots of views. So if that's all he wants is views and he doesn't mind that lifestyle, then God bless him and his lifestyle. But I don't want to read about it in the comments of a channel that I go to at that time enjoy. And I have an opinion, and my opinion counts. So now I'm going to go to the comments and see what your opinion about this is. And if you haven't given this video a thumbs up and you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you have given the video any thumbs and you don't like it, push the thumbs down button. I don't care. I never cared. I am a self-made man. Scott Del Fuego always comes up with some interesting comment that Michael Fazio is a man from the past, a self-made man, doesn't care about your opinion. If your opinion and my opinion happen to be coinciding with one another, that's fine. If your opinion is that you want to watch all channels, that's great. If your opinion is that I have a good channel and the other guy has a good channel, that's fine too. But I have my opinion and I earned it. No one gave me nothing in this life. So everything I have, I earned. And I have a point of view. If you don't like that point of view, that's a personal problem. And I don't care about your personal problems. So let's see what we have here. All right, I can't get to that. I can't go to my channel. Not right now. Okay, this is the one. Okay, that's another thing. YouTube, aside from censoring me, God almighty. All right, so Scott Del Fuego, the first comment I see. Good evening to the poet of Panglao, the pharaoh of the Philippines, the bard of Bohol, a man with unlimited potential and vast knowledge that can tell you how to survive the streets continued, while simultaneously challenging and reshaping your beliefs on life, religion, philosophy, and man's raison d'etre. Welcome to the machine and the mysterious world of Michael Fazio. Thank you, Scott. Hello, Slim Jim. Thank you very much, Scott. Scott always comes up with this mystical stuff. Mr. Willis is here. Yeah, Mr. Willis, I'm in pretty good shape. In fact, I do a lot more exercises than I show you, not because I do exercises, but because I work and I'm constantly bending down to pick stuff up. Mein Buntag, Mr. Willis. Philippines drama over the two clowns are gone. Is over. The two clowns are gone. I'm not real sure about that, commander of YouTube. I did notice a lull in their channels. And I don't know why. I don't pretend to know why, because I don't talk with either one of them directly, although one of them made me an offer to talk to. So let's have a conversation, he said. What do I have to conversate? Conversate, that's not even a word. What do I have to have a conversation about with you? You made your choice. You made your opinion known. You allowed other people to have their opinions well known on your channel, and they were derogatory and negative in nature towards myself. And you want to have a conversation about what, per se, I ask you? There is nothing to have a conversation about. You see, let me try to describe something to you people without getting myself in a bucket of hot water. I grew up in a time and era. God, this is hard. I grew up in a time and place where people didn't cross other people twice. When you affiliated yourself with a certain group of friends, people, and or associates, each time you did so, you were what we call taken into the cradle, under the wing, okay? And at some point, someone gave you the speech. We used to call it the speech, okay? So did they give you the speech? Because when you got the speech, you were hooked up. You were in the cradle. They were taking care of you. When you got the speech was pretty much the same for each different community or group of friends that you associated with. And the speech went as follows. We are now going to allow you to do work for us. We will give you directions. You will follow the directions. If I tell you, if you are told to be on a street corner on Green and Blue, on the corner of Green and Blue in Pennsylvania at 10 o'clock Thursday morning, wearing a red flannel shirt and a black hat, you will be there. And if we tell you to drive a car to a certain place and hand the keys to another person with an identical car and take his keys and drive it back, you will not have a conversation with the person. You will not stop for coffee. You will not stop to sleep. You will wipe the bugs off the front of the car before you get to the first toll booth in Florida. This way, or Georgia, this way it doesn't look like you went through Georgia and that you're just traveling locally. That's how complex some of the associates I worked with were. They gave you towels, they gave you Vaseline, and they gave you instructions at where to clean the car, where to get off the interstate, what car wash to go to, when to put Vaseline on the front of the car so the bugs didn't stick. So it didn't look like you were making a trip from Florida to New York. And you followed those directions. Now, because you get to the corner of Green and Blue in Pennsylvania at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and no one shows up, you are then told in the same instructions, wait 15 minutes. If no one shows up, come back to New York. However, how do you receive your instructions? Sometimes in person, mostly over a shortwave radio on some weird frequency. So, you people and me are different in nature. I didn't get to where I got to because I was a backstabbing, lying snitch that filled out long forms on YouTube. I had nothing in common with most of you people. Some of the people that I have talked to in person understand what I'm talking about more than others. But when you think that I am anything like you, and I'm going to allow some guy on YouTube with zero content to judge me as a human being, insinuating that I'm a control freak, and that then I have the insidious comments that go along with his commentary on his channel. We're not Nazis. We believe in free speech. This is entertainment. Well, if that's what you like for entertainment, then go at it. Have at it. I say have at it. I have had comments from people like Jaden that says he likes both channels. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is people removing comments, like from a person like Ed Lippard, who said Michael Fazio is a good guy. And then the comment was removed. And then there were like, I would say 40 comments, maybe more, but there were at least 40 comments removed derogatory towards me. But all the while the live stream was uploading and being made, those comments stayed on the live stream. It wasn't until afterwards that this insidious little creature with a wrench removed them so that I would have nothing to talk about or prove, not be able to prove that the comments were made, including his comments, including the comment by Ed Lippard, stating that Michael Fazio is a good man. That's what he said, word for word. Gone. Other comments were Michael Fazio is a homophobe. Gone. Where I didn't argue the point because it has nothing to do with reality. Other comments where I was a Bible thumper. Gone. 40 plus comments. Gone. And you think it's okay to come to my channel and ask me what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, per se, is that you incite hatred towards me, and yet you have never proven yourself of any worth in life in general. We're not talking about the Philippines fraud concept of you proving yourself as such as far as self-worth is concerned. We're talking about what have you done to make society a better place? What have you created? I created entire industries around the deck and dock building business. I created kitchen and bathroom businesses. I supplied hundreds, if not thousands of people with their entire monetary necessities for food, shelter, and clothing for their entire families for years. What have you done for society? What have you ever done? What tax roll have you ever paid? What payroll have you ever paid? At some point, in my deck and dock building business, my payroll was $9,000 a week, cash, plus what was on the books. I had to come up with $36,000 a month in cash to pay my men, plus what I paid my men on the books, another $15,000 or $20,000 back in the 80s. What the hell have you ever done to say anything near what I just told you? What have you done? Have you bought a crane? Have you bought a barge? Have you spent $500,000 on a piece of equipment and then paid taxes on the money that you made with the equipment? What have you done besides work for a corporation or the United States government? What the hell have you done to be able to critique me as a human being? The answer is nothing. Your channel has nothing but hatred. You spew nothing but hatred and insidious comments to people. Had you not come on my channel, which I told you that it would be best that people just dropped this subject 2 weeks ago, but you guys love drama. So if you want to direct drama towards me, I want to give you a rebuttal. I'm telling you unequivocally that none of you people that have made derogatory comments towards myself or my girlfriend, Daisy May, not a one of you have ever done 1/10 of what I have accomplished in my life and what I'm going to accomplish in my life. So when I hear the pile of cellulose telling people, he's got a fantasy hotel, I think the words were. He's never going to build a hotel. It's just a fantasy. So what if I do? Let's say I build the hotel. What are you going to do? At that point, you're not going to say congratulations. You're going to just make it like it never happened because you don't have what it takes to become man or a man. You only have your ability to cry and beg through your disabilities and your shortcomings. And yet you continue the drama by saying that my thoughts and or beliefs are a fantasy. My hotel is a fantasy. Are the plans that I have a fantasy? Are the materials that I have a fantasy? Are the holes I dug for the foundations a fantasy? No, it's all real. It's just a slow process. I could tell you right now, which doesn't have anything to do with me building the first 3 floors, I still don't have the 4th floor height clearance okayed. Paid for it, put it into the system 2.5 years ago, but I don't have it. I don't need it, but I don't have it. Everything works slow in the Philippines, and I don't have another 4.5 million pesos in my hand right now to finish the hotel. Another $90,000 and I could finish the hotel. Now, I've been working on that, and when the house in New York sells, I will have that money. But will you people come and say, well, your hotel's not a fantasy after all? No, because you're not man enough to do so. You're not even man enough to know when you're not man enough to talk about me, let alone man enough to talk about anything that has to do with me or my channel or my girlfriend. Then I got to hear these lame excuses that I'm trying to control your channel. No, I was just giving you some advice in a format of comments that your family watches your videos. And if they watch your videos, they're going to see this guy talking about his boyfriend, Julian. And they might have thoughts about you. Or they might not like that. Or they may like it. I don't know. But I don't want to see it. So I chose to disavow myself from your channel. And I said, let's just drop it in the next video I made. But you guys won't drop it. You guys just won't drop it. You don't know when to just chill your heels. You don't know when to do that. You're not going to overpower my mindset. I'm a self-made man. Neither one of you two guys can say that. Neither one of you have ever done anything on your own that's noteworthy or notable on your video content. So one of you says, well, my life is private. Well, if it's private, then you can't prove that you are a man in my book. Now, not necessarily a man per se. That's the wrong choice of words. You can't prove that you're a self-made man. You had to depend on the United States military complex to accomplish what you've accomplished in your life. And the other guy had to depend on whatever companies he worked for. But none of you have gone out and created anything of any self-worth or anything that you can boast about. But you come, or you allow people to critique me and my girlfriend, Daisy May. You allow that to happen on your channel so that you can accrue views because you don't want to offend a man that's pushing him and another man making love. You allow that so that you can get views or view counts. That's ridiculous. Now, I have a set of morals that I live by, and to me, that's ridiculous. If you want to live by those morals, fine. All I asked you in the video I made after I saw your video was to drop it, but you couldn't do that. You just love drama. Let's have some drama. Let's just have a double slice of drama. I think I gave you that much already. Let me read the comments. All right. Mr. Willis, thank you. Yeah, I do have a lot of aspects of reality. Okay, so Johnny Feathers says, bought your book in 2010. You used to have a lot of great shows. Who gives a flying about what it costs to live in the Philippines? Johnny Feathers, that's a good point. It seems negative, but it's not actually negative. It's a good point. However, YouTube, I could make the best video on the planet about dollar bills, and I have, Johnny Feathers. And YouTube gives me a view count of about 60 views, and then they bury it in the round file. So your viewpoint is totally valid, and I agree with it. But if I do a video on a dollar bill, I did one 2 days ago, and the whole video, the sound was off. Or they made it look like I had two live streams running at the same time when I only had one live stream running. In fact, I refreshed the entire computer, shut it off, and restarted it, and the first live stream that said it was failed was running in the background, screwing up the second live stream. That's kind of impossible, but YouTube does that to me. So if I make the best dollar bill video in the world, the best dollar bill videos in the world, Johnny Feathers, YouTube is never going to allow my channel to thrive and be successful. And that's okay. It's their prerogative. But that's a good comment. Mr. Willis says, yeah, it costs more than $1,000 to live a month. For a single man, it costs more than $1,000. You guys got to get that through your head. No, and you can't own a car. John Escapes. If you have a car, it's going to cost you a lot more than $1,000. You have to pay for parking. You have to pay a small amount for insurance. You have to pay for gas. What it costs me to go 20 kilometers is 50 cents on the jeepney. And I like public transportation because I get to meet a lot of people, make some videos. I even made a few friends. Not anybody that I would put on video, but a few friends. And if you have a car and you go 20 kilometers, so I spend $1 going round trip. If you go 20 miles in a car, it costs you $1 per mile. So now you're going to spend $20 on fuel, roughly. Cost about $1 a mile to run a car, not on fuel, but tires, wear and tear on belts, hoses, windshield wiper fluid, just general maintenance, starters, alternators, mufflers, things like that. It costs about $1 a mile to own a car in the Philippines too. So if you have a car, it costs a lot more. I'm talking about not owning a car, using public transportation. Commander of YouTube, That's right. He is a complete rectum. There's no doubt about that, Commander. And yet people love his content. I don't, but people do love it because it reminds me, and I hate to bring it up, but it reminds me of the Philippine fraud. Reminds me, he loves Seinfeld, and he has nothing to offer the Philippine genre. So in effect, the Ladyboy Lover of Manila show reminds me of Seinfeld. It's about nothing that I'm interested in, yet people love it. That's the closest thing I could say without getting in trouble. Okay, Steve Thomas. Is American flatter than the Philippines, or are they the same? Steve Thomas, the world is flat, my friend. If you're an intelligent man, I'll answer that question. Go to Google 200 proofs the earth is flat. 200 proofs the earth is flat. Listen to the 1 hour, a little over an hour video, and each time he makes a statement, try to prove it wrong, and you can't. But that's not why I believe the earth is flat. I believe the earth is flat because I have some pilot training, quite a bit, and I have an A&P jet mechanics license still to this day, and I have a captain's license over the water. Nowhere in anything I've ever learned or trained or tested for is the curvature of the earth part of the equation. Doesn't happen. As a captain, we had to pass our captain's license, we had to navigate charts and read charts and plot courses. And we don't take into account the curvature of the earth as over the water, nor did we do it when we were doing pilot training. So the earth is flat. 200 proofs the earth is flat should bring you to the same conclusion. Commander of YouTube, single expat. What content do you have? What content do you have? How put a diaper on it? Johnny Feathers, since the last 2 years or more, it's all I hear when coming to watch you. Then don't come and watch me. Why are you even here? I don't. Oh, about the YouTube genre. I just explained that to you. Okay, that's an acceptable comment. I don't talk about the dollar bill anymore. Every time, if I take out a dollar bill right now and put it on YouTube, my channel will have some sort of interruption and it will end the video. Every time I put a picture of a dollar bill up on the screen and start talking about the Bohemian Grove or the Illuminati, the video fails. It's just that simple. I did it this morning, it failed. I did it yesterday, it failed. I did it the day before, it failed. Paul, so Johnny, I want to talk about that. In fact, I wanted to do a show on just the fact that I was a Mason and what I learned or didn't learn as a Mason. But as soon as I started the show, the video failed. So I even did it one in private a week or so ago. I started talking about being a Mason and what you can expect, and the video failed. The upload failed. It said my connection failed. I don't know what it is, but apparently they know who I am. So Johnny Feathers, you, Epstein. Epstein. You know damn well, Johnny Feathers, that Epstein is not dead. They took him out and they replaced him with another body that assumed room temperature around the same time. And he's on his way back to his island and a facelift. That's my opinion about that. Mrs. Heminger. Mrs. Heminger has become quite the conversationalist on YouTube. The Philippines, Mrs. Heminger says, the philosopher has topics ranging from mermaids to hemorrhoids, but not a single video talking to the locals. Nothing. Zero. I think you guys should watch, if you want to see a representation of how well I'm liked in my community, go and watch my video where it's the name of the video, I think, is Philippines Children Laughing and Giving High Fives. And then understand that those children are the children of friends of mine who don't want to be on YouTube. They don't, the people in my general area do not want to be on YouTube. They don't want to be on my videos. They watch my videos. I'll go to the beach. They'll be watching my videos. They'll say, nice video. They don't want to be on camera. I don't know if it's a mix between they believe your soul is stolen when they're on video, or they just don't want to be on video. So do you see me respecting their wishes? I do. Before I put somebody on video, I'll make a hand sign, thumbs up or thumbs down. And they'll shake their head, yeah, it's okay. And that's when I put them on video. On the construction sites, there is no construction site in Bohol locally that I can't walk on and say hello to the foreman. I don't do it. And I, in fact, sometimes converse with some of the best and biggest contractors, but they don't want to be on video either. Now, I have a bunch of videos I didn't load from them building a couple of hotels in my area. I'm allowed to post those. In fact, the fellow who built the hotels, the main contractor, is Chinese and doesn't speak a word of English, but he likes me. Now, why does he like me? I'm not going to tell you why he likes me, but basically he knows I'm an honest man and I do what I say and I keep my promises and I don't pester him when the job is moving forward. I just do what needs to be done. Okay? And I'll leave it at that. But a lot of people, but if you want to see if I'm well liked in the community, go to my channel and watch the video, Philippines Children Laughing and Giving High Fives, and understand that every one of their parents will invite me into their house on any given day to have dinner, lunch, or breakfast with them. Even if they're just having a snack on the beach, they'll say, Mike, kaon? Kaon means want to eat, hungry? And I'll say, no, thank you. And then sometimes I'll bring them back food in return for asking me if I want food. Sometimes I won't. But I am well-liked in the community. I can walk down the block anywhere, and everybody will say hello and smile and good morning. How are you? What's new? It's all about nothing, but they're friendly. And that's what's important. Nobody else in the YouTube genre do you see walking down the block, chit-chatting, giving high fives, and making jokes with the locals in the community. They walk down the block like it's some sort of a hazard zone. Anyway, let's get back there. Let's get back to this. Go. So the Philippines philosophy, but not one video of the locals. That's right, Mrs. Heminger. Because he is not in the Philippines, the great philosopher. He's in the Philippines, but he's not part of the Philippines. Paul Signetti, and I have many heavy equipment repair and many other heavy equipment repairs that are only on Patreon. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for stopping by. Go Bobo. Hello, Go Bobo sister. Welcome to the machine. Who has hemorrhoids? Go Bobo wants to know. Mrs. Heminger, Taco Rack series was epic. I had the no... I can't say those words. They censor my videos on multiple times. Mr. Willis, you are in really good shape for a man your age. I was impressed when you have both feet together and you bend down and have your palms completely flat on the ground. Yeah, that's pretty easy for me to do. I do a lot of bending over because of the work I do. The Ladyboy Lover only yanked cranes when he was younger. That's probably true. Hi, Michael. Hello, Princess Anud. Bush Wookie. Fazio, you are the man. Freaking Rabbi Jubaka, you're amazing. Thank you, Bush Wookie. I don't know who you are, but salamat. Thank you very much. Scott, while simultaneously, Scott, we're up to Scott's comment. while simultaneously challenging and reshaping your beliefs on life, religion, philosophy, and man's raison d'etre. Welcome to the machine and the mysterious world of Michael Fazio. Thank you. Good evening to the poet of Panglao, the pharaoh of the Philippines, the bard of Bohol, a man with unlimited potential and vast knowledge who can tell you how to survive in the streets. Oh, that's for sure. Thank you, Scott. Slim Jim, he composes that stuff in seconds. Scott is a wordsmith. In fact, he does something similar for a living. Mrs. Heminger says, I'm on my way to being a self-made millionaire too. Yeah, you told me about your investments. Good for you, Mrs. Heminger. But more like $500,000 before 40. It's hard, especially in today's world. I give you a lot of credit for keeping your head above water. What's my favorite? Secret Agent Randy Beans. What's your favorite night at the museum movie? I'm not familiar with TV. I'm not familiar with that series at all. I apologize. John Escape. I think Mike should be on Fox Nation without doubt. Thank you, John Escape. Secret Agent Randy Beans. I don't know what anything about that series. Secret Agent Randy Beans. Build that hotel. Show the haters and crybabies. Oh, I'm going to do that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just a question of selling the house in New York, and I am personally. Here's what, in regards to the hotel, another issue of why I didn't hire, why I'm not going to hire a contractor. And when I do, I will have all the foundation footings dug. This way, what it costs me to rent the equipment is next to a hill of beans compared to what it would have cost me to hire a company to dig out the water tanks and the septic tanks, and plus the footings themselves for the hotel. I got a price 3 years ago for a little over 1.3 million pesos, or about, I don't know, $26,000. But now it's all coral, it's not dirt. Now the price is well over 2 million pesos, or $40,000 just to dig the footings in coral. I didn't pay anywhere near that in time to repair the person I rent the equipment from. I rent equipment from somebody, but I don't give him money. I repair his equipment when other people break it. So it doesn't cost me anything for any equipment that I bring to anywhere. Sometimes I go out on a job and do the repair, and sometimes, so I basically work off the time on the Hobbs meter. So when I build the hotel, and I'm going to be in charge of the substructure and plumbing. I will put the plumbing in. These guys, let me tell you why. These guys it's amazing. It's just amazing that people have no foresight. All right, as a plumber, from my plumbing knowledge, I worked for Windy Day Plumbing for quite a few months, almost little over 2 years at Windy Day Plumbing in the Florida Keys. I learned how to do plumbing from some of the best plumbers in the world that retired in the Florida Keys and then got a job for Windy Day Plumber. Anyway, what these guys do in the Philippines is they dig the trenches in soil that settles, and then they don't use sand, and then their plumbing fixtures that go through the floor are in dirt. They use the hard pack that they dug from the ground, and they cover the pipes because they don't have regulations like we have in America. In America, the pipes have to be surrounded by 8 inches of sand below the pipes and 6 to 8 inches of sand above the pipes, and the same on either side, 4 or 5 inches on either side. Here, they just let you fill it up with whatever you dug out of the hole. So what happens is that material compresses. And then when the ground settles, it separates the pipes from the bottoms of the toilet bowls on the first floor. And then the ground settles, and that leaves a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 inch cavity between the concrete and where they poured it on the dirt. Now there's a 5 inch cavity. The pipes are separated between the bottom of the toilet bowl on the sweep. Well, they don't even have sweeps here. They have 90s and the 90-degree fittings. And then the cavity fills up with sewage, and the whole hotel or house smells like sewage because they don't know how to do plumbing here. So I will supervise the plumbing. And they don't hang the pipes. I'm not going to tell you how to do the plumbing. If you want to know how to do the plumbing properly, you become a member of my Patreon account, and I will tell you how to do plumbing properly. Thank you, Secret Agent Randy Beans. Okay. How many pesos did that dude have? Probably none. Secret Agent Randy Beans, I would shake your hand, you legend. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, I see where you're commenting on what I said previously. You're right. These people have to depend on a corporation or the American military machine to make a living, they couldn't do it on their own. And thank you very much for all the comments, Secret Agent Randy Beans. Hello, all. Had to run out for a couple of moments. Scott is back. DYSI, you ignored my comment. I didn't see it. Mr. Mercury 3 is here. Welcome to the machine, Mercury. Mr. Willis, how are the prices now on the prices are, Mr. Willis, the prices have gone nuts. Last year, I can't tell you the man's position in life. He doesn't want me to say what he was, what he did, but we went out for a 500 peso hamburger. I just by chance, 2 weeks ago, I took Daisy May out to Zumba, and I went to the restaurant to check on the current prices of the hamburger, 600 pesos. So it went up 20%. It went up 20% in less than a year, okay? I went across the street, it went up 20%. I went around the corner, it went up 20%. They're all basically the same size hamburgers, although I didn't eat in all 3 places. So prices on Alona Beach have gone up 20% on average. Pizza was 400 pesos last year. It's 500 pesos now for the same size pie. So that's 25%. Mr. Willis. I won't have room for a pool in the hotel. I just don't have the land necessary to build a pool. Maybe I could have a jacuzzi on the 4th floor. I'm not sure about that. I'm not real sure about that. I will have something for myself to go in, but I don't know that it'll be a public venue. I think we should have hit the high box with more. Okay, Secret Agent Randy Beans. Damn, that's not good. Yeah, well, yeah, I used to install jacuzzis, and I did it for a company called Rubba Dubba, and I also did it for Windy Day Plumbing. Now, they have jacuzzis that you can buy, but we used to build them from scratch. We used to just get a fiberglass tub and plumb it out. But you could do it with concrete just as easy nowadays and buy the components. And concrete is like 1/5 the price than the shell. But that's like 2 years down the road. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'll probably end up picking up something for myself for sure to watch the sun rise and set from the 4th floor. So I'm going to go back to my live stream. I see there that I did have a few more notes. Really, there's nothing else that I have to talk about. I'm glad I got through this little commentary that I had. I don't really want to do this again. And for anybody that's interested, why this happened, you can watch the video. It happened because they don't want this to stop. And I actually have other stuff to do, not just today, but I have projects to work on that if you are my personal friend or a member of Patreon at a certain level or above, you saw yesterday's project, and that it's no small feat to accomplish what I'm doing. But, of course, not everybody is my friend, long-term subscriber and or a member of Patreon. So, I will just try to get through. I'm pretty much, I went through the whole selection of comments that I had without even reviewing the comments that I made, because I knew what I wanted to talk about. So one comment is 6,212 videos, including how to build decks and docks, repair heavy equipment, scuba diving in the Philippines, Florida, snorkeling in Florida and the Philippines, swimming in Florida in the Philippines. In addition, I have several thousand videos about political comedy, which is why my channel is being shadow banned and the reason for my low view counts. Now let's talk about discoveries. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody else in the Philippines vlogging genre has ever made an actual discovery. And this is the biggest reason why my channel is censored. My channel is heavily censored because of my discovery of the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill, the skull and bones on the dollar bill. I'm afraid to show this picture. And the Bohemian Grove owl on the dollar bill. That's why my channel is heavily censored, because if the skull and bones on the bottom and the Bohemian Grove great horned owl is on the dollar bill at the top, and the skull and bones is at the bottom, and the entire reverse of the $1 bill is in fact the Ark of the Covenant, and it is. If that's true, here is why they censor my channel. I am telling you unequivocally that what you're looking at is a pictograph, exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant, ingrained and scribed into the format of the back of the dollar bill. I'm also telling you it's scaled down from the actual size that was given to Moses by this entity we perceive to be God. I am telling you that, and I'm telling you that I will wager you $10,000 for you to prove me wrong. But you won't, and you can't. I am telling you to go to www.angelsontheark.com. Well, that's no longer a viable website because they quadrupled the price of that. So you have to go to Amazon and Google Angels on the Ark. Okay? Just Google angelsontheark.com and it'll bring you to my book. Okay? So I'm telling you that the Ark of the Covenant's on the dollar bill. Those three pictographs I just discussed prove that there is no separation of church and state. There never was. You have been hoodwinked by the angel on the dollar bill. And an angel, to digress, is something that brings you information. The pictographs, or what some people call pictures on the dollar bill, represent certain mindsets, information of history that the people who control this world refer to one another when they are in close proximity to one another, and they have a King James Bible. They'll say, where in the King James Bible does this little picture, the words that represent this little picture, or what is this picture, what words in the King James Bible? And you have to know the answer to those questions. And then they know if you're a member of their society and what level you have achieved. I broke their codes without any help from any of their members. And that's why they never had much to do with me. And that's why my channel is being shadow banned, heavily censored, because I broke their codes. I wrote a book about it, and no one in 9 years has challenged even a single topic in the book. Nobody. Because I don't just talk about doing something, I did it. I proved that the Bible was written by an ancient race of beings that controlled the world before the Great Pyramid was built. I proved that. I proved that the United States government is being controlled by the Vatican long before anybody else said it or even thought it or attempted to prove it. I proved that. That's why my channel is censored. Don't believe me? I can't even show you the link, but you can go to my home page and the link underneath the eagle that says Angels on the Ark. You can click that link, and for $2.99, you can get a 1,770-page Kindle-ready book for $2.99. A Kindle-ready book that proves that the Bible is a fictitious book written by the ancient race of beings that has always controlled this world and always will. And now that we have the age of computers and artificial intelligence, and people are waking up to their methods, which we evil, they're getting ready to close it all back down. They're getting ready to wipe the population off the face of the earth. Could be some sort of cataclysmic event. Yellowstone National Park is the biggest volcano in America. Who's to say they wouldn't set that off like they did in Japan? And that was a nuclear detonation. There's no doubt about it. Take this name. Take this name and write it down. You people think I'm crazy, and yet when I say something, I back it up with truth. Take the name Jim, that's easy, J-I-M, Jim, and the last name is Stone. Jim Stone. Just put Jim Stone into Google, and you should have all the information necessary to prove what I just said. And I was one of the first people to make videos about the event in Japan being a detonation 6 miles off the shore. I said it on the same day as he did. But my videos were removed from YouTube. And so were his. And so was tens of thousands of other people's videos removed from YouTube for misleading comment about the event that happened in Japan, to the point where the numbers that registered on the Richter scale on the morning of that event were 9.1, and they changed it to 6.1. They didn't reverse the number, baliktad, as we call it in the Philippines. They didn't reverse it. They just used a 9 and turned it into a 6 and left the 0.1. None of which is possible in accordance to what actually occurred in that event. But if you go to Jim Stone's website, Jim Stone, more people like the democracy doctor who said, whoa, Fazio, you were right about the moon landings being faked. You go to Jim Stone's website and you'll see that Japan was under attack that day. And who did it? And I came to the same conclusion he did, and I didn't even know who he was for 2 or 3 years after I said it, because I didn't need to concur with anybody else. I didn't need to back up my statement with truth. I have an understanding of geological, occurrences and how they affect water. Not because I I studied it, but I studied it after the event. And I said, this can't be. And I came to the conclusion that it was a detonation off Japan. And so did he. That was within hours. Mine videos were all taken down. I can't find them. And his videos were taken off. And he was censored as much as I am. That's why my channel is censored. People that tell the truth are no longer welcome to thrive on YouTube. All right, so right now it's 9:36 on this clock. It's 10:36 in real life. Yes, Scott, thank you. If you wish, Scott Delfigo, the wordsmith is at it again. If you wish to watch your mind expand like our billowing, growing universe, to hear the expansion like a rushing wind by Mr. Fazio's seminal work, Angels on the Ark, well worth any price. So thank you, Scott. Now, Scott's read my book, and so has Warren and several other members of my community. And no one, for the first 7 years of book sales, my book had a 5-star rating. Now, I don't know how it works, but it's down. I think it was down there to like a 4.7 rating or 4.5. I forgot. I haven't been to the site. I could go to the site now and check. Hold on, I'll do that. I went to the site the other day, but I didn't see. All right, so here's how you can see my book. All right, so you go to my home page. I don't know if there's anything on there you shouldn't be seeing. Go to my home page and click this link right here under the eagle on the Ark book sales. Okay. All right, so let's click that. Now we're going to come to Amazon. It's a Kindle ready book for $2.99. It used to have the rating. Well, anyway, it's 100% secure service, so you don't have to worry about. Okay. Here it is, customer reviews. 5-star, 82%. They changed the way it's visible. 2-star, 9%. 1-star, 9%. Okay, that's reasonable. And then they have some comments down here, which I didn't even know they put up. This is interesting. Let's read this comment. I have spent a lifetime since the age of 21, now 62, studying the scriptures, as well as such topics of the New World Order, the $1 bill, the Rothschild history, and the Masons. I was brought up by a Mason and was a former demole as a youth. For those of you who don't know, it's a group of Masons for the youthful. All right, so in all the years of learning so much about the globalists, I have never read anything quite as deep and detailed regarding the pictographs surrounding them, including an interpretation of scripture such as this. Although my premise and conclusion may or may not differ, the insight and observations detailed in the book are unsurpassed. I highly recommend reading this insightful book as it relates to the most incredible work of art the world has ever seen on the $1 bill. That's a pretty damn good comment. That's a 5-star. We have another 5-star. A friend of mine recommended this book. I am glad he did. I would have never found it on my own. This book is a work of art in words. Actually, it is amazing. It is fun to read and then laugh at the money changers. I cannot describe within a review. It was worth buying and reading and then rereading. Okay, I've never read these comments before. 2 stars. Okay, so here, now this is true. No chapters and editing is wanting. As for conspiracy, it's full of it. Okay, now, I wrote the book myself. As a carpenter, I have no skills in editing or concise chapters. But it wasn't about concise chapters or editing. It was about the truth. So I wrote the truth. So his comment is true, and so is my book. Interesting to say the least. One person found this helpful. A great read. 3 people found it helpful. 5 stars. I like this book. It amazes me how this was out in the open for so long and nobody could see it save Mr. Fazio. The pictures from Amazon needed to be clearer. I have the book on my personal computer and they are much clearer. And I was a little disappointing, but the book was interesting. Other than that, this book will open your eyes. Great job, Michael Fazio. Thank you very much. That's January 13, 2013. Oh, we're going way back here. Awesome book with tons of good info. You follow true historical fact rather than fiction. That's what I just said to my subscribers. I give you facts. I proved what I set out to prove, not in chapter and editing format, but in facts. Because I'm not an editor or a writer of books and I don't have that education, doesn't mean that my truth. Look, I can tell you that I'm not a boxer. I could tell you that I'm not a boxer. Let's just go into facts. I could tell you that I don't know a damn thing about boxing. I watch some boxing. I've gotten into a couple of fights even, but I don't know a damn thing about boxing. I don't care about boxing. Okay? That I've been knocked out twice. Both times I wasn't looking, and both times I wasn't fighting. Knocked me out. However, what I do know about boxing is that if I hit you hard enough in the right place, I'm going to knock you out. Now, I know where that place is. Now, I don't know how to get there through boxing methods. But does it matter if I knock you out, if I know how to box or not? I'm going to tell you, I don't know how to box. I have no idea. There's steps and moving and back and forth. I'm kind of like, I want to take my shots and I'm going to get in there and I want to try to do my best and I'm going to go for it. I don't care about the boxing aspect of it. And I don't care whether I win or lose. But if I hit you hard enough, what I know is I'm going to knock you out. So whether or not I'm a boxer or even a fighter, doesn't matter. The facts are the facts. And that's what I gave you in my book. I gave you facts. I gave you facts that I put up $10, $50, and $100,000 challenges to the world's leading experts. And no one took my challenge. Not yet, not then, not before, not after. Never. No one ever took my challenge. Why? Because they can't. And that's what the book review is kind of saying. I gave you facts. The editing part, the chapter part, that guy was bang on. My book doesn't read like a book. It reads like what I found something interesting in pictographic format on the dollar bill. Go to my homepage channel and watch this little 3 or 4 minute video and look at the owl on the dollar bill. Clear as day, it's the great horned owl. Clear as day. Bohemian Grove owl. Clear as day. The hog-nosed bat. Clear as day. It's not something that looks like a hog-nosed bat. Go to the channel. Go to the description box. And if YouTube didn't remove all the links, look at the hog-nosed bat on the dollar bill that I show you on my channel, and then go click the link for hog-nosed bat pictures. And you'll come to the encyclopedia of birds and flying mammals, and you'll see a picture of a hog-nosed bat in the book that's identical to the picture on the dollar bill. Now, do you think that if you took a dollar bill and folded it like this, do you think you could get a picture of an owl, a perfect picture of a great horned owl, including the feathery snout, eyes, ears, wingspan proportion in the proper proportions, and a picture of a bat, the hog-nosed bat, that represent the two societies that parallel one another, aka the skull and bones and the owl on the dollar bill? Do you think that's a coincidence? I have people coming to my channel and saying, oh, that's a coincidence, or it's an illusion, or I'm delusional. So wager me the money I ask you to wager me. I can always find somebody to back me up if you have more money than I do. I always will find some. There is nobody on this earth. I challenged the theologians that write articles for the Vatican. I challenged Mark Good University, who's the second world's leading expert on the Ark of the Covenant, to prove that the Ark of the Covenant wasn't on the dollar bill. I challenged him. He wouldn't even answer my email. I challenged Eric H. Klein of George Washington University in Washington, D.C. I challenged them for $50,000 to come and debate me for an hour in New York City. And they wouldn't come because they can't prove me wrong. And yet, why is my channel censored? Because I tell you the truth, not because I lied, not because if my story was fictitious and made up and there was no proof to it, YouTube would have me as one of the greatest vloggers in the history of mankind. But what my storyline on my videos proves is something otherworldly, something much more highly advanced than we can comprehend, put the pictographs on the dollar bill and wrote the words of the Bible as a form of communication before computers existed, so that people, and even now, so that people would get together and they say, how do I know that you're really a member of our society? And one of them takes out the Masonic King James Bible and a dollar bill and says, prove to me you're a member of our society. Show me the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill. Oh, that's really easy. It's the whole back of the dollar bill. Now, show me the four ringlets that hold the poles of Shittim wood. S-H-I-T-T-U-M. Shittim wood. Show me the four ringlets that hold the poles of Shittim. Oh, that's easy. Here they are, right there in your face. Okay, now show me the six-winged seraphim that has a face of a man but is not a man. Oh, that's easy. It's right there on the ends of the dollar bill. Right here. Here they are, right here. It's not real complicated. Those are the two faces of the six-winged cherubim. Those are the two faces of the six-winged cherubim. Did I just say it? No, I didn't say it. I added 50 pages of notes and drawings to prove it. Did I just make it up as a fantasy? No, I put 50 pages of dialogue to prove those are the two faces of the six-winged seraphim, including the fact that there are 6 lines that emanate from their eyes, which in turn are the wings of the 6-winged cherubs or seraphim when you turn it upside down. Now, it's 2 faces of what appears to be a man but is not a man, and or a cherub-like entity with 6 wings emanating from under its chin. Each one of those little wings has 6 lines in it. That's what represents the six-winged cherubim. Is my book fictitious? No, it's not. It's truthful to a T. Nobody has ever proven anything in my book incorrect or wrong. But if they allowed this information to go worldwide global, I should have 100 million views, not 9 million views. I should have 1 billion views, not 9 million views. If they allowed this information to become public, worldwide, and renowned, people would say, whoa, hold on a minute. The Vatican controls the Bohemian Grove Society, which controls the American war machine, which associates itself with the members, the graduating members of the Skull and Bones, which runs the Bank of England, which runs the economy of America. Well, it's all one big circle jerk. We don't want to have anything to do with the Vatican. Oh, by the way, the Vatican allows the mindset that up until the age of 17, thou shalt not kill. It's a great story right there. But when the American government or the British government or the Australian government commissions you to go into the service, or you volunteer to go into the service, they tell you it's okay to kill until we tell you to stop. And when you get out of the service, you're supposed to stop. Why? Not because the service says to do this, that, and the other thing, because the Vatican allows the service to do that. If the greatest or most common religion in the world was against warfare, which they're not, in fact, they have one of the largest investments of war machines in the world. The Vatican has one of the largest investments of war building materials. Now, they may not necessarily make the tanks for the wars themselves, but they make the motors for the tanks. I'm not even sure if that's true, but they make the components that go into the tanks. They may not make the airplanes that fly and drop the bombs on people, but they make some of the components through their holdings company that, and they know what, and those components are 100% military related. So they invest in 100% military related stocks and or markets that build parts of the weapons that go and create war and death and destruction, but they're the Vatican. They're 2 steps removed from the actual machine that does the killing. But if my book went viral like it should have, and my videos went viral like they used to, then people would say, wait a minute, this guy Michael Fazio, he's figured this out. And the Vatican controls America and always has. They're not going to have any of that. People would stop going to church. They would stop giving money to the Vatican. They would stop sending their children to Catholic schools saying, whoa, we don't want to, we have been taught, the New Testament, turn the other cheek. The Vatican is what? They control the government of the United States and the American military machine? No. We're not going to have any of that. That's what my book proves. That's why my channel is censored. Not because my YouTube content is not good. I have some of the best and greatest YouTube content on the planet. Certainly the most diversified YouTube channel in existence. Not because some pile of cellulite says, his channel is not good, my channel is better. My channel is better than his. I make more money. Yeah, because people feel sorry for you. You are very good at what you do. Be it called entertainment or charity or Cry Me a River. You're very good at what you do, but you don't have a better channel than I do. You have a better flock of uneducated people that just want entertainment, and you provide that. Got an itchy nose. You provide that for sure, but your channel isn't better than mine. When you say stuff like that, I gotta laugh. then I got to say to myself, why am I allowing this to happen? I'm allowing some guy with what I consider nothing related to the Philippines on his channel talk about my channel not having anything to do with the Philippines. I won't allow that. No, 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 no. I have the greatest channel that has ever existed on YouTube in history, bar none. I discovered the Ark of the Covenant. Michael Fazio, Michael Fazio, I discovered the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill by myself without any aid of any group or association with any other persons on this planet. I discovered the logos of the Yale Skull and Bones. Nobody else discovered it. Nobody. I discovered the Bohemian Grove Owl on the dollar bill. Did I put it there? No. But I am the only person in history that saw it and then said it was there. But I didn't just say it was there. I said it's related to the words in the Bible and then proved that too. Probably 100 little pieces of the Ark of the Covenant that were given to Moses how to build, and his artisans, the artisans that built the Ark of the Covenant, they were each given specific instructions how to build the Ark of the Covenant. Each one of them were given instructions by the Spirit or through Moses, and then they built it. And then those words that were in the Bible became reality on the back of the dollar bill. And here we go. My live stream is taking a crap. Here we go. I just saw it flutter. That's right. As soon as I said the Ark of the Covenant's on the back of the $1 bill, my whole channel fluttered. Lines across the screen, things happening and appearing and disappearing. So if you haven't pushed the thumbs up button, push the thumbs up button before Google shuts me down. All right, Sparky. Okay. Sparky 58. Hey, Faz, greetings from Dallas, Texas. Hello, Sparky. Scott saying hello to Mercury. Scott says, I know the book would not be received well by those limited intellectual, as they would become frustrated at the flowing concepts. That's true. Sparky 58. Watching you from my Peterbilt 387. Going to deliver 20,000 pounds of Subway soup. Thanks for your many years of entertainment. Well, thank you, Sparky. Thank you very much for the confirmation that you have enjoyed my channel. I hope you have a safe trip over the road. Remember that 12-hour maximum. Don't run over the 12 hours. You know what they do to you. I'm a semi-retired electrician. Me and my Filipino wife here in the good old USA. Congratulations. That's a big step. All right. He has a channel, Sparky 58. If you want to go to his channel, please go there and enjoy his channel. Scott Del Fuego says, if one cured cancer, does it matter if they understood medicine? No. And probably there's 1,000 people out there that have potential cures for cancer that never went to medical school. That's a good point, Scott. Thank you. Scott Del Fuego says, see the kitty's hog-nosed bat. That's what it is. It's the kitty's hog-nosed bat on the dollar bill. But hog-nosed bat pictures will bring you to the same thing. But in the description box, I think, in my homepage video, if YouTube didn't take the links out of the description box, it should be there where you can Google, you can click the link for the kitty's hog-nosed bat. Sparky 58, got my CDL license so I can travel with my wife in the USA. Sparky, a little known fact is I am the first person in the history of the state of Florida to walk in cold. I needed to get my CDL license so I could move my equipment. I went into the Department of Motor Vehicles in Key Largo, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I want to take the test for the CDL license. I knew how to drive the truck. I knew how to back up trailers, and I even could do doubles. Never worked with triples. And the guy said, did you ever read the book before? I said, no, but I want to take the test today because I need to move some equipment next week. I need the license. And he goes, well, the test is $200 if you pass the written. I said, yeah, okay, just give me the book. So he gave me the book. And now there's 7 stamps, as you well know, Sparky. And I went next door to the library, Key Largo Library, Key Largo Motor Vehicle, are just inches away from each other. And I went next door into the library and read the book, which wasn't very big. I don't know, it took me about 20 minutes to read it. And I came back and took the first test. I got a 90 or 95 or something like that. And the guy said to me, did you ever take this test before? Because he was the only person giving out the tests, and he didn't know who I was. I said, no. This is all easy stuff. I learned this as a jet mechanic. So he said, please sit at the front of the room so I can watch you. I said, what's there to watch? Because I want to make sure you're not cheating. No one. And I took that test in under 3 minutes. I don't know, it was some stupid amount of time, 2 or 3 minutes. So he gave me part 2. There's 7 tags. You have the nuclear waste tag. You have the chemical tag. You have doubles tag. You have the air tag. You have the triples tag. You know, when you're seeing it, how to back up something into a spot with triples, which way to turn the wheel. You have your lights and functionalities of the different systems in the trucks tag. And you have, of course, your over-the-road signs and what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. I forgot which all 7 tags. But anyway, there were seven tags that I said, let me take all the tags. I might as well get them all. So I took the next test, and it took me 2 or 3 minutes it's only 20 questions, not like rocket science. It took me 2 or 3 minutes to fill out the test. And I handed it back to the man. He goes, are you sure you're done with this? Because it was really quick. I said, yeah, I knew all the answers to those questions. He goes, you never read this book before and you know these answers? I'm going, it's pretty much just general information when it, like air brakes are, are air brakes on or off when the system is pressurized? It's a pretty simple question. It's not complicated. Anyway, so I took all 7 tags in less than 35 minutes. And they were outside from the internal parts of the office watching me take the tags. No one ever saw me before, and I didn't read the book. And there were things on the test that you could remember in the book, but you'd have to know them in real life that I knew in real life. So I got all 7 tags in less than 35 minutes, and they said I took some kind of record. No one ever walked in, did all 7 tests, and averaged, I think I averaged 90 or 95. I don't remember, but I was the highest marked ever in Florida Keys. But then they looked later on in the state of Florida. I did it in under 35 minutes, passed all 7 tests in less than a few minutes, and got an average, I think it was 90. It could have been 95. No one ever did that before, except me. Sparky 58. I'm a 32nd degree Mason. All right, you're a 32nd degree Mason. Scott didn't know that, Sparky. Scott Del Fuego. Haven't been to a lodge in a while, but I'm on the level. On that level. Where are you from, Scott? Okay, so Sparky 58, do they know about the Ark of the Covenant on the $1 bill? Would be my question to you. Yeah, someone probably did fall off because the channel just went berserk when I said the Vatican. Hello, Princess Anud. Hello, Mercury. Air brakes. Yeah, Sparky. I took those tests back in when I bought my backhoe. I took those tests back in 2001. But there was also the nuclear waste and chemical contaminant tags. Those two you didn't. Yeah, that's right. I forgot what they were, but I passed all 7. And then driving the truck was easy. I only had to go down straight roads in the Florida Keys. And backing up, we always had plenty of room. Anyway, that's why my channel has low view counts. It has nothing to do with my video content. So what I'm going to do right now, it's 11 o'clock. It's the hottest time of the day, and I want to go outside and get some sun. I also have some distilled water being made that should be almost done, probably within the next 45 minutes. I don't want it to shut off on its own. I'm going to say thank you. If you look at what's happening to the screen right now, I'm getting all these lines, and the screen just turned blank white. Okay, I guess that was because I turned the camera around. Yeah, the lines. Wow, look at this. I don't know if it'll happen. That happens because of some sort of feedback. I'm not sure why that's happening, but it's 2 minutes. It's 2 hours, and they don't usually let me talk for much longer than 2 hours anyway, or it seems like that. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody. Thanks for stopping by, and Sparky, you should buy my book for $2.99. It's on Kindle, and you can read it when you take your breaks. And then you could let me know if they taught you what I teach you in the book. Because I never talked, even though I talked to the Grand Master at the lodge, he never knew anything about the symbols that I'm talking about on the dollar bill. He didn't even know about the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill. Of course, he was an idiot in real life. He was a lawyer. But how he got to become a lawyer, I don't know. He was my age. So maybe the Florida bar exam was a lot easier 40 years ago, but the man was an idiot. And the guy before him, the Grand Master, he was a little bit smarter, but he didn't know about the symbols either. And I looked in their eyes when I was, and a little known fact, Sparky, is they wanted me to teach the hand signs and the words, the letters in the little book, what they meant in the little blue book. A little black book. They wanted me to teach ULB, something like that. ULB. You know what ULB means. They wanted me to teach that, and I actually set out. I said, I don't really want to do that. Then I says, okay. But then I realized I was trying to teach people stuff they couldn't get the first or the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth time. People were coming back day after day after day after day. They couldn't remember what the letters meant. And I'm going, why am I doing this? And plus the time it took for me to do it. I told them I don't want to do it anymore. But that's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to teach what the word, the letter symbols and letter configurations meant as far as words were concerned, for people that couldn't get it through their head what they meant. And I forgot most of that anyway. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. You guys want to go read my book? Sparky, you have the perfect opportunity. Good night, Scott. Yeah, be careful, Scott. Have it. Good night, Mercury. Thanks for stopping by. Scott Sparky, Port Austin. I spent 3 weeks in Port Austin, parked at the end of the pier. Port Austin, the tip of the thumb, baby. I spent a lot of time there. If you've been there your whole life, then you should know John, who used to own the bar right at the pier, across from the hardware store there. Yeah, wow. End times. Look at our. I don't look at the new currency because they have a whole different meaning. But thanks for stopping by, End times. Good night, John Boone Bean. Port Austin, God, there's so few people. That's right opposite Alpena, where I came. I went from Alpena to Port Austin. It's like this. Alpena is over here, and Port Austin is the tip of the thumb, baby. Spent a lot of time there. At the cottages, just up the road from the hardware store. Those people are long gone. Had an account at the hardware store. At the machine shop, Bruce's Marine Service there. I forgot the name of it. Man, I love Port Austin. I just love that. I went to Bad Axe for ice cream at night a couple of times a week. Bad Axe, Michigan. All right, Sparky. Yeah, that was when I took the barge home from Traverse City. We'll talk another time, Sparky. Yeah, look into the book and see if they know what I know, because I don't think they know what I know. And I know that. I know that they don't know what I know. And I know that to be a fact. But none of them ever gave me the slightest hint that they knew what I knew. But they don't know what I know, because I know that they don't know that. Okay. I'm being Permy from Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. Good night. Bye for now. Thanks for stopping by. Gonna end it. Not me, the stream. Wouldn't even think about something like that.